Are you frustrated with the state of your life? Do you ever feel like no matter how hard you try, nothing really changes? That somehow, in this modern world, we've lost track of what really matters. We live in a society that values profit over people. And in a world where success is measured by the things you own, the hours you grind, and how much you can produce, it's all exhausting. And yet deep down, you know something's wrong. But we all keep following the same path, only to arrive at the same disappointing place. Many years ago, I discovered the secret to living a life that was worth living. Something told me I needed to give up. That was it. Stop chasing the things that were robbing me of the short time I was given and follow the things that gave me life. The concepts laid out in this video are simple and laughably obvious. That's the point. The answer to what you're feeling is not some big hidden secret. It's been in front of us this whole time. Today, we're going to talk about how you can give up on the life society tells you to live and build a life that's worth living. Perfection. It's a trap, a toxic expectation that keeps us locked in place. Society tells us to be perfect. Perfect bodies, perfect careers, perfect families. But perfection is unattainable. Worse, it's against our true nature. The greatest people, works of music, art, and modes of human expression all contain one thing: mistakes. Let me be clear. Perfection is a lie. You don't need to be flawless to make progress. To be human is to be imperfect. I've experienced firsthand how waiting for perfection is a form of procrastination. It's a way to avoid taking action because deep down, you're afraid to fail. But here's the truth. You will fail. We all do. But instead of shame, it should be a point of pride because you had the strength to take action.
Hey Sammy, I really struggle with the constant need to get it right every time. I feel like I can't even start projects because I'm scared they'll turn out wrong. It just stops me in my tracks.
Exactly. Perfectionism doesn't just hold you back, it drains you. It convinces you that unless you're perfect, you shouldn't even bother. But that ends now. Today, give up the need to be perfect and embrace progress instead. As the old saying goes, life is more about the journey than the destination. Take a step forward, even if you might get it wrong. Oftentimes, the best things in life happen by accident, when you thought everything was going wrong.
Give up being perfect. Identify one area in your life you've been procrastinating and take a step forward today.
There's a lot in life you can't control. The traffic on your commute, your car breaking down, the state of the economy, your food order missing the fries. We live in a world where everything is monetized and profit is valued over human well-being. Many of us try to combat that suffocating feeling unsuccessfully by trying to be in control. But you can't control the outside world, no matter how hard you try. And as you've probably experienced, trying to do so only leads to frustration and burnout. Here's what you can control: your responses. You can decide how much of your mental and emotional energy you're going to give to things you can't change. You can choose to give up.
Sammy, I find myself stressing out about things I can't change, like politics or the economy. I feel so powerless sometimes. It seems like nothing in my life is slanted in my favor, like I'm always running uphill.
You're not alone in that feeling. Most of us are living in systems that are designed to profit off our labor, our time, our stress. But we have the power to choose where we focus our energy. You can't control the traffic or who's in charge of the world, but you can control how you react to it. That's your power. It's time to give up on the things you can't control. Stop giving your energy to forces beyond your reach. Focus on what you can influence, your actions, your thoughts, your behavior. By giving up control, you create the space to build a life worth living. You have to make the choice to control what you take in. Most of what you hear in the world is beyond your reach, but local things, family, friends, and community are in your sphere of influence. Focus on building a life around things that matter and give up on things you can't control.
Give up control. Select one thing you've been holding on to and determine today to let it go.
We live in a time of overwhelming complexity. Between endless consumer choices, constant noise from social media, and the pressure to do more and be more productive, we've become prisoners to the systems that promise to make our lives better. Your life doesn't need to be so complicated. The world values productivity and accumulation, but more isn't always better. More can mean chaos, clutter, and stress. Simplify your life. Clear out what isn't essential. This goes beyond physical stuff. Simplify your commitments. Simplify your expectations.
Hey, Sammy. My schedule is so packed these days, I feel like I don't have any time for anything that matters. What can I do to simplify my life a little bit?
I've been exactly where you are, tricked into thinking that doing more is the answer, that accumulating more is the path to happiness. It's not. Less is the answer. When you give up the need for more, you create space. Space for you. You find peace, clarity, and space for the things that matter most. Try to remember a time when you weren't stuck in the rat race. Is it hard to do? All the things we load our lives with rob us of the time and space to do what is most important, being present in the here and now.
Give up a cluttered life. Eliminate something unnecessary and make space for what truly matters today.
In a world driven by profit, it's easy to forget what actually makes us feel alive. We're told to work harder, earn more, and consume more, but none of that nourishes the soul. To live a fulfilling life, you must build time for what brings you joy. What are you doing that truly feeds you? Most people are so caught up in what they have to do that they never take the time to do the things they want to do. If you're not feeding your soul, you're starving yourself, and no job, paycheck, or material thing will ever fix that. No matter what you try to do to ignore this critical key issue, your true self will always know and fight to be heard.
Hey, Sammy. I used to sing and write songs, but I haven't done those things in years. I let myself believe that I needed to focus on grown-up things. Now that I'm older, I'm beginning to see that my true self was in my songs, and I need to make space in my life for the things that make me feel most alive.
That's the problem, isn't it? We've been conditioned to believe that joy is a luxury we simply can't afford. But that is a lie. Joy is essential. It's the fuel that keeps you going, the fire that makes life worth living. I've been talking about music and art, and maybe that's not you. Maybe it's being an avid VHS tape collector, or spending time lost in a book. Maybe hockey or fishing is where you find inner peace. I remember an older gentleman telling me that he never felt a thing sitting in the pew of the church. But it was out in the woods, among nature, away from the hustle and bustle of the world, that the universe would speak to him. Whatever it is for you, build time for what feeds your soul. Your life depends on it.
Give up what doesn't feed your soul. Set aside time today, even 10 minutes, to do something that brings you joy.
In this loud, cluttered, and draining world, it's easy to get swallowed by the darkness. Injustice, inequality, and the pressure to constantly do more, it's just overwhelming. There has to be an antidote to despair, and I believe it lies in gratitude. Gratitude isn't about ignoring the darkness. It's about facing it head on while still recognizing the light that exists within. No matter how bleak things may seem, there is always something to be thankful for. See, gratitude doesn't change the circumstances, but gratitude changes your perspective. It often feels like we've been robbed of our power, but a gratitude shift in perspective can be the key to reclaiming it.
Sammy, I've been struggling with how messed up everything seems to be. The state of the world and the pressures of my life have me questioning what value any of this holds. Sure, gratitude sounds nice, but where do I even start?
I hear you, and it's tough. The things you feel are something we all experience. But even in the worst of times, there is always something good. You just need to choose to see it. I was taught a practice years ago that has stayed with me through difficult times. Start saying thanks for something, anything. Thank you for the socks on my feet. Who you thank is up to you. I like to start silly because it just snaps me out of whatever funk that I'm in. Thank you for paint. Thank you for the sky, the coffee in my cup, and go on and on and on for a while until you realize that what was weighing you down feels lighter. See, nothing changed but your perspective. And no matter what seems to be controlling the circumstances you face, that is the one thing that you have power over.
Give up despair. Start listing off things you're grateful for. The more ridiculous, the better.
The world is hard. It's unforgiving. But that doesn't mean you have to be. To build a life worth living, you need to give up what's dragging you down. Perfectionism, the illusion of control, the noise of modern life, and things that don't feed your soul. And don't forget despair. Start focusing on what truly matters and simplify, feed your soul, and face the darkness with gratitude. It's time to take back control, not of the world, but of yourself. You hold the power to fight back the darkness. Our greatest asset is time. Don't let a cold world steal it from you. Give up, let go, and build a life worth living today.